The movie begins with a man named Thomas who returns home only to hear the devastating news that his sister has been kidnapped. She sends a letter addressed to their father, stating that if he wants to see her alive again, he must travel to an island and pay a price to secure her release. Otherwise, her captors will kill her. Determined to save his sister, Thomas sets off on a journey. After traveling by train, he arrives at the coast, from where he needs to take a boat to reach the island. Before boarding, Thomas notices something unusual. His ticket looks different from everyone else's. Sensing something is off, he cunningly swaps his ticket with another man. Once aboard the boat, he sees that the man whose ticket he took has a cross marked on his luggage. The next morning, the boat docks at the island. Thomas observes that some men take the ticket-swapped passenger away. Newcomers are welcomed to the island, and each is handed an empty bottle. Thomas heads to his assigned room, where he discovers a book written by the island's leader, Malcolm. In this book, Malcolm refers to himself as an angel born on the island and considers himself its father. The residents are mostly fugitives or people who fled the government and now hide on the island. The next morning, Thomas meets the island's doctor, who happens to be Malcolm's daughter. Thomas notices that the man with the exchange ticket is being held prisoner and appears to be in terrible condition. Later, Thomas attends a church gathering with all the islanders. There, Malcolm shares his backstory, how he and two friends escaped prison and came to the island. Over time, they populated it and built a new life. Malcolm says the island's goddess not only saved them, but recognized him as an angel. He promises the people that the island has no taxes, no money, and no wars. It's a peaceful paradise. While this sermon is ongoing, Thomas sees a mysterious woman walking outside the church. Strangely, no one else seems to see her, except Malcolm, who notices her too and then catches Thomas watching her. Meanwhile, the men searching the prisoner's belongings realize he doesn't have any money. They come to understand they've captured the wrong man. It dawns on Malcolm's followers that the girl they kidnapped, Annie, Thomas's sister, must have someone coming to rescue her, and he's likely already on the island. Furious, they execute the man they wrongly suspected. Meanwhile, a romance is blossoming in secret between Jeremy, the son of one of Malcolm's friends, and the daughter of another. They keep their relationship hidden. That night, while wandering the village, Thomas sees newcomers filling their bottles with blood. He follows Malcolm back to his house and watches as he enters a hidden tunnel beneath it. Later, Thomas catches sight of Jeremy and his lover together and realizes there's something going on between them. Returning to his room, Thomas finds bottles full of blood outside every door. He switches the blood from another bottle into his own and sets it outside. As he enters, he injures his hand with the key, and a few drops of blood fall to the floor. A horrifying woman appears and starts licking the blood. Her appearance is terrifying. Thomas tears a page from Malcolm's book and begins drawing a map of the village. Meanwhile, we see a remote forest cabin on the other side of the tunnel, which is under surveillance by a frightening servant of Malcolm. Malcolm visits this house through the tunnel. The next day, Jeremy thanks Thomas for not revealing his relationship and takes him to work. Thomas asks about his sister. Jeremy is reluctant at first, but after being pressed and threatened by Thomas, he reveals the truth. He says that a month ago, Malcolm and his two allies kidnapped Annie to extort a ransom from their father because the island is in crisis. Crops are failing, animals aren't reproducing, and they need money to import food or everyone will starve. Thomas tells Jeremy that if he wants to keep his love affair secret, he must help him, and Jeremy agrees. Malcolm, meanwhile, plans to identify the outsider who's come to rescue the girl. He calls everyone to the church and tests their knowledge of his book, a core requirement on the island. Before Thomas's turn comes, a man attacks Malcolm, a hitman sent by the king, who sees Malcolm as a threat. Thomas saves Malcolm, though he is injured. Malcolm is taken to his son, the island's doctor. Grateful, Malcolm pledges loyalty to Thomas, unaware that he's the man they're hunting. That night, Malcolm publicly declares Annie to be a spy sent by the king, and that her accomplice is hiding among the people. He threatens to kill her unless the man steps forward. Thomas, though scared, does not reveal himself. The plan fails. The next morning, Annie is shackled and watched over by children. Malcolm's daughter brings her food and shoos the children away. Malcolm discusses holding a festival that night to lure the mysterious man into the open. While everyone is at the celebration, they plan to search all the homes for clues. That night, while the villagers enjoy the festivities, Thomas and Jeremy break into Malcolm's home and enter the tunnel. Meanwhile, Malcolm and his friend search Thomas's room and find the map he drew. Realizing he's still in the house, Malcolm tells Jeremy's father to search it. Outside, Jeremy's father finds Jeremy and, realizing he's helping Thomas, drives him away. Malcolm and his friend soon arrive. Malcolm's friend enters the tunnel, and Malcolm's daughter witnesses all of this. Malcolm rides around to the other side of the tunnel. With both exits blocked, Thomas hides in a drain filled with blood, where he again encounters the terrifying blood-drinking woman. Horrified, he flees and discovers symbols associated with the island's goddess. Meanwhile, Malcolm confronts the imprisoned goddess, demanding to know if she revealed herself to Thomas. Furious, he slashes his hand and feeds her his blood, demanding she revive the land or suffer starvation. As she drinks, plants begin to sprout in the dead forest. Elsewhere, Malcolm's servant arrives carrying Annie in a sack and hangs her up. Thomas spends the night in the tunnel. In the morning, Malcolm's daughter brings him clothes, saying she wants to help. Thomas is suspicious. Why would the daughter of his enemy help him? She insists her father isn't a killer, but Thomas tells her the truth about Annie's kidnapping. Realizing the truth, she hides Thomas in the poisoned fields where no one dares go. Meanwhile, Malcolm visits his friend's now empty home. That friend and his son, Jeremy, are planning to escape. At the same time, Jeremy visits his lover, who reveals she's pregnant. Jeremy goes to fetch something for her, but while he's gone, her father, Malcolm's friend, discovers the pregnancy. He declares the unborn child a curse and, despite her pleas, kills her. When Jeremy returns, he finds her dead. Grief-stricken, he attacks her father, injuring him. The man runs outside and lies to the villagers, saying Jeremy murdered his daughter. He claims he must be purified. The guards say only Malcolm can order purification, but the man declares himself the true leader now. The guards chase Jeremy, who flees to Malcolm's daughter in the poisoned fields. She tries to protect him, but the guards catch and drag him away. Thomas follows, hoping to help. Jeremy is brought before Malcolm's traitorous friend, who declares that purification must happen immediately. They brutally kill Jeremy despite protests from Malcolm's daughter and Thomas, who is also captured. Malcolm and Jeremy's father arrive too late. Jeremy is dead. His father mourns deeply. Malcolm's treacherous friend orders him taken away and declares himself the true leader, saying Malcolm is weak. To prove his leadership, he demands Malcolm kill Thomas publicly, in front of his daughter. As Malcolm prepares to do so, his daughter intervenes. But Malcolm insists it must be done. Before he can strike, a gunshot rings out. Jeremy's father has shot the traitor, declaring that the goddess must now die. In the chaos, Thomas escapes into the forest, fights off the servant, and reaches the jungle house. There, he finds Jeremy's father dying, who begs him to burn everything. Thomas slips into the house just before Malcolm and his friend arrive. Malcolm's friend shoots him, believing him dead. Thomas watches as the servant force-feeds the goddess more blood, making the forest bloom again. Thomas finds Annie and frees her, but the servant attacks him. Malcolm's friend arrives, captures Annie, and arrests Malcolm's daughter too. Thomas awakens tied to a gruesome grinder. Just in time, he escapes and forces the drunken servant into the grinder, killing him. He then goes to the goddess, who says she's been waiting for him. She reveals everything: how Malcolm and his friends imprisoned and tortured her. She begs Thomas to end it. He sets her ablaze. As she burns, the village catches fire. People flee in panic, including Malcolm. Meanwhile, Malcolm's friend locks Annie and Malcolm's daughter in a church. He explains everything. They fed animal blood to the goddess until it stopped working, then began using human blood. The goddess was a kind of machine that traded blood for prosperity. Now he intends to kill the girls and offer them as blood too. Just then, Thomas bursts in and attacks him. The girls break their chains, and together they strangle him with them. Thomas, severely injured, urges the girls to flee while he holds off danger. Annie refuses to leave, but Thomas insists. They run toward the boats, but he collapses from his injuries. Thomas tells Annie he promised to save her life no matter what. Now she must go without him. Heartbroken, Annie and Malcolm's daughter board a boat and leave. Malcolm arrives and watches as plants begin sprouting where Thomas's blood touches the earth. Thomas smiles, lies down, and vines wrap around him, pulling him into the ground. Malcolm smiles, realizing Thomas has become the island's new god. Thanks to him, the people will never go hungry again. Prosperity will return. And so ends the story. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome movie explanations. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching.